Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing a manga chapter review of Boku no Hero. So, we got another chapter already out very early, which is very good because we're getting closer and closer to chapter 20 where the manga is currently at. So this is wonderful news. So, this week's chapter, or this technical day of Boku no Hero, I'm used to saying week because I'm used to reviewing weekly chapters, but this chapter of Boku no Hero, it is pretty much a slice-of-life chapter. It actually just eases us into the slice-of-life elements of this series with choosing who is going to be the class representative, like the class president, and that is one of the main focuses of this episode. Like, you have it to where we get more characterization for Ida in this chapter, we find out some different, characteristics of other characters, and we have a setup at the end of this chapter for the upcoming villains to probably go ham in this arc. So the first things first, let's talk about the main concept of the chapter besides the ending. Finding out who is going to be the class representative or the class president, whatever title you want to bestow to a specific person, that we just find out who is going to become the class president. And with this, you have it to where there's a bunch of students being chosen, and then you have it to where Ida pretty much says, like, okay, we should have a vote, a democratic vote about who will possibly be the vice principal and the principal of the class. And it was really cool the way it was going because we get to find out more about Ida's characterization, more personality, and see that he's a very honorable and respectful person. I mean, he has a lot of honor in him. Like, he chose a voting system. For instance, people would have to vote for whoever would be the class representative. And the thing is he didn't even vote for himself. You could vote for yourself if you wanted, but Ida chose to not even vote for himself when he actually made the idea, and he got 0 votes at the end of the day. But in reality, as the chapter progressed, technically, Ida became the president of the class because of his honor, his, respect towards his fellow classmates, and he actually was following the proper manners of how you should evacuate and stuff like that. So Ida, we find out some just characterization on him. That's really what this chapter does, and that must mean that he's going to be an important character for the mangaka of Boku no Hero to actually want to focus on him. Hopefully we get a lot of development on these other side characters. I would really love this series to focus on side characters too. Not just our main male character Izuku, but other characters, like these other side characters, like Great Boy. Oh my god. The characterization for Great Boy, wow. I remember about 3 chapters ago, I made a comment about Great Boy staring at Momo's Oppai. I'm like, he's staring at her. He was literally staring at her in the middle of the match between Bakugo and Izuku. Well, in this, he clearly is a pervert because, I mean, it's just the lines he says in this, it's just like, my god. He is just a straight out pervert. So yeah, Great Boy confirmed a pervert. So yeah, interesting little twist to his personality. It's funny how I saw that entire panel, him staring at Momo, and then we find out in this chapter his personality is technically kind of a pervert. The other things, too, that you get from this chapter is that Momo also becomes the vice principal or the vice principal or representative of the classroom, and you have it to where she's going to be helping out Ida. So this is really good because Momo has shown to be very intelligent. As I said in my last review, she is aware of her surroundings, she pays attention to what is going on, and the way she was able to deduce all the stuff that was going on in the match between Bakugo and Izuku, that was amazing. Amazing skills she used. So with her type of skills and her brains, along with Ida's brains and skills, yeah, those two are meant for each other, and I'm actually saying I want to ship those two, because those two, already, their personalities seem to be very similar. I mean, you have it to where Momo's a little bit more rough, but Ida is, just more of the intelligent, type of stuck-up school nerd, pretty much. That's how Ida is, and you have to where Momo is that one that's kind of stuck-up too, and she's intelligent, but she's like one of those opposite factors that will be key to supporting Ida later on down the series. Now, other things I do want to talk about. You have it to where the press of, the outside world pretty much, the people are not in the school, just regular press and news reporters, they want to get an interview with All Might. That's one of the main things going on in this chapter, and as it progresses, the news reporters get a lot more violent and aggressive because they really want to know about All Might, why he chose to start coming to the school to start teaching, stuff like that, and All Might pretty much was nowhere to be found in this entire chapter, which is a first. I think this is the first chapter since these past chapters that I've read that All Might has not appeared in the series. Damn. I think so. I think this is the first time All Might's never appeared in the chapter. But either way, just seeing how the news reporters were just getting more aggressive to find out more about All Might, it makes me eventually believe that All Might's secret of him, you know, being very sick and wounded is going to be found out. Because when that gets found out, something very bad is eventually going to happen. I'm calling it right now. That definitely is going to happen, and All Might might die. I mean, it's actually a given. I want to say right now, it's a given that All Might will die since he's weakened by, you know, the previous villain he fought a long time ago that made his body like it is now. But I just hope he doesn't die anytime soon. I really hope not, because I really like All Might, and he has a lot of potential for just more epic stuff, and he needs to teach Izuku more about his powers. So, yeah. Oh, yes, at the end of this chapter, we see a final panel pretty much showing that the gate that got shut down, that the school, like the sensors or whatever, supposedly from these sensors, you have to have a personalized ID, or you have to be a student of the school to actually have these security barriers not go off. And if you have these IDs and stuff, it won't go off, and there's like a bunch all over the school. Like, they will instantly shut if you're not an authorized person in the school building. And it was really cool the way they demonstrated this, because it'll show you, like, how the defense system is against villains. And that's exactly what it showcases at the end of this chapter, when you see one of the freaking, like, massive thick walls. I don't know if that's made of concrete, metal, or metal and concrete, or whatever it was. You saw it just blasted into pieces. That entire solid door just gone, and you have it to where probably a villain is snuck inside into the school to probably take out All Might. Judging by the back hair, like, we saw one panel with the news reporters when they were talking in front of the door and all that, wanting to get in. You saw, like, a back of a head of someone, and it looked like someone very suspicious. And if I think about it, the head looked exactly like the dude with the hands all over his body, the villain that was introduced at the end of last chapter. So I'm willing to bet that that person that probably broke that door down was the dude with a bunch of hands all over his body. So he's incredibly powerful if he did that. He really is. So yeah, there's a little comedy moments also in this chapter. You have it with Ochako and her food, like she's eating fucking rice. You have the adorable little cute moments between her thinking in her mind about Izuku. For instance, she votes for Izuku, and she's like, oh, I hope he doesn't find out about it. That's adorable. That's straight out adorable. Once again, more reason why I ship those two together, Izuku and Ochako, because Ochako is amazing. So yeah, I think this is going to conclude my chapter review for today. Cannot wait for the next chapter, because it will be amazing. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.